They say a home is a sanctuary, a fortress built with love. But what if the foundation was mixed with something else? Not sorrow, but doctrine. What if the prayers that soaked into the floorboards were not pleas for mercy, but meticulous instructions? This is not a story about a haunting. It is the reading of a will, a spiritual last testament where the inheritance is not property but purpose. A story of a family who moved into a house that was not empty, but expectant. Family, gather close. This is the dread Codex. And this is what happens when faith forgets to be kind and becomes a blueprint. My name is Ethan Cross. I do not sleep with the lights off. I am learning that love can be the sharpest tool in a monster's hand. This is why. In the fall of 2019, my wife, Clara, pregnant with our Lily, found the listing. Briar's Hollow, West Virginia. An 1890 stone farmhouse, a former pastor's residence. The realtor, a Mr. Albright with a voice like falling dust, called it a testament to enduring values. The price was obscenely low. The diocese manages it, he said. They seek continuity. The first sign was not the cold, but the sound. In the nursery, a small room with an arched prayer niche in the eastern wall, the silence had a different quality. It was absorbent, swallowing. In it, Clara began to hear a faint, rhythmic scratch, like a pen on vellum. "He's writing," she murmured in her sleep one night. "He's always writing." Her pregnancy, once easy, turned. Fevers that came and went like tides. A cough that sounded less like illness and more like something trying to speak from within her lungs. Our cat, Jasper, would not cross the nursery threshold. He would stare at the prayer niche, his tail a frantic metronome, and vomit neatly on the floor. Then the marks. Not scratches. Words. One morning, I found Clara shivering before the bathroom mirror. Across the taut skin of her pregnant belly, in faint raised lines like old scars, was a single phrase: "The vessel must be willing." It was not in her handwriting. It was angular, formal, liturgical. Desperate, I went to the county archives. The house's history was bland. Reverend Jeremiah Hart, 1925 to 1933. Wife Eliza. No children listed. But in a box of unsorted church circulars, I found it. A pamphlet, yellowed and brittle. Title: On Domestic Sacrament, the Home as Fortress of the Covenant, by Rev. J. Hart. It was not a sermon. It was a manual. It spoke of spiritual inheritance, of transferring the covenant through the line of the faithful. It described illness not as misfortune, but as the body making room for a more perfect occupant. The final paragraph made my vision swim. And if the wife be barren, or her fruit fail, let the faithful husband look to the foundation of his own faith. For is not the father the conduit of the covenant? A true sacrifice, willingly given from his own line, is the highest prayer. It writes the family name, not in the ledger of man, but in the eternal ledger of the Lord. The home itself shall remember and await the next willing branch. Eliza Hart had 3 stillbirths. The records listed maternal melancholy as the cause of death, for her and for the Reverend. I raced home, the pamphlet crumbling in my fist. The house felt aware. The dead sconce in the nursery now glowed with that same sickly yellow light, but only when I was alone. In its glow, The shadow behind the crucifix didn't just shift. It sat at a desk, shoulders bent in terrible diligence, writing in a book that was not there. Clara's water broke 2 months early. In the ambulance, she gripped my hand, her eyes wide with a knowledge that was not her own. "He's not in the house, Ethan," she gasped. "He's in the deed. He's in the lines." Lily was born tiny, but alive. Clara, however, was bleeding from a source the surgeons could not find. In her final moments, she was lucid, her voice a dry leaf. "He showed me the book, Ethan. The real one. It's not a Bible. It's a ledger. Our names are in it. Yours is at the top of a new page," her eyes locked onto mine. "He doesn't want to haunt her. He wants to instruct her. And you are the permission." She was gone. I returned to that stone house a hollow man. I would burn it. I would salt the earth. In the nursery, the cold was now absolute. The prayer niche seemed deeper. Inside, bolted to the stone, I found a false back behind the crucifix. My numb fingers pried it loose. Behind it was a small, leather-bound journal. Rev. Jeremiah Hart. The first pages were sermons. Then prayers for a child. Then arguments with God. Then instructions. The final entry, dated the day the coroner said he and Eliza died. "The flesh of my wife has failed. My line ends with me. But the covenant is a structure stronger than bone. I lay it now into the bones of this house. Stone and beam will hold the pattern. Let the next father who seeks sanctuary here find it. Let his love for his child be the key that turns the lock. Let his faith, his simple, desperate faith to keep her safe, be the signature that binds him. I vacate the vessel. May a worthier one fill it." The ledger remains open. Beneath it, on the next line, written in the same ink but by a different frantic hand, Eliza's, I knew, was a single scrawled sentence. God was not listening. Something else was. I took the book. I took my daughter. I drove 1,000 miles. I moved into a new apartment. I burned everything. I framed a new life on a foundation of forgetfulness. But you cannot burn a covenant. You can only inherit it. Lily is 2 now. She does not play. She arranges. She takes her blocks and builds small, perfect models of a stone house with a single window. She hums a tune I've never taught her. It sounds like a Gregorian chant. Last week, I found her drawing, not with crayons, with her finger in the condensation on the window. A tall, gaunt figure holding the hand of a small girl. Between them, a line connected their hearts. At the top, in block letters a toddler should not be able to write, "Daddy's girl." The cold is here. It lives in her room. The pediatrician finds nothing. And last night, the monitor crackled. Not with dripping. With the sound of a chair scraping back from a desk. Then my own voice, filled with a love so profound it curdled, spoke from the speaker. The ledger is updated. The father's love is the signature. The child is the living entry. The study of devotion continues. Welcome home, Reverend Cross. This is the story of the Hart Ledger, Briar's Hollow. It is not a ghost story. It is an inheritance. The most profound evil does not break into your house. It waits for you to bring it inside, wrapped in your best intentions. It turns your love into its license, your sanctuary into its seminary. So listen closely, family. If you are ever offered a haven that feels like destiny, if the past seems not dead, but meticulously organized. If you feel the quiet, patient pull of a pattern that wants to complete itself, beware. Some houses are not haunted. They are curated. And some prayers are not answered. They are filed. Until next time, may your path be lit by your own light. May your legacy be your own to write. Good night.